So the question before us is, how do dealers keep pace with an ever-changing market? First place to start right now, just the other day, the Federal Reserve raised the prime interest rate by what, 25 basis points. And it's really just the first shot across our bow. The economy's better, that rate's going to keep going up. And as my great good friend Dale Pollock has preached for years, a rise of half a point, 1.2 points can take a dealer from black ink to red ink. And from a consumer standpoint, whether it's a slight increase in the interest rate, which decreases affordability, whether it's just a kind of an economic rumble, or whether it's some kind of, God forbid, world event that shakes us all a little bit, what we learned with the tsunami in 2010 is consumers are instantly able to say, I'm done, I'm out, I'll wait. While dealers are forced to address the harsh realities of huge fixed cost businesses, excess inventory, etc. So where to start? Inventory, right? So let's take at least the simpler of the two problems. Let's take used cars. Take a hard look at your current inventory list, what's underwater, be honest, and then my recommendation is even go so far as to take the entire inventory list, mark it down another 3 to 5%, and say, all right, in 10 days, where would we be in terms of being underwater in this inventory? And get rid of as much as you can. Run it through the chutes, optimize it if you can. If some of it's retail pieces and you just want to lower the prices, that's great. But, get out, have cash on hand, because if the prices go down, you'll be better served to buy cars 20, 30, 60 days from now than you are right now. On the new car side, basics again. What's my day supply? And then what's the mix? And the key to the mix is you got to start thinking about day supply and mix in relation to your district, your zone, your region, and ultimately nationally. You just don't want to have all sedans if incentives go away from sedans nationally because of a low day supply overall and move to trucks and you have no trucks. I realize you all have markets that you have to serve in terms of what they want. I have a truck market, I have a sedan market, whatever it might be. But you got to be a little bit savvy. Don't be too clever, but you got to be savvy about the reality of incentives coming your way. And because you can't run new cars through the chute, the other thing you're going to have to do, and it's obviously the scariest thing for dealers, you have to spend a little time and come up with either a 30, 60-day sales plan, contest, something to incent the sales teams to move the product. You may have to use a series of spiffs, or maybe even make a temporary change to the compensation plan, just a sweeping change with a couple of ratchets or stair steps to give them the incentive to get through the cars. Long story short, it's a great time to be long on cash. I've sat in more than a few statement meetings with dealers, and I have yet to hear anybody make a very long speech about having too much cash on the balance sheet. So get lean, be well positioned. If the market stays good, you can be a hero to district manager and a buyer at the auction. If there's any shift, you'll be best prepared to take care of it.
Thanks, Jim. Visiting dealers on a daily basis, I often hear we need to change, but most dealers are hesitant to do so, and they're slower moving than the actual statement that they're making. There's technology available to do a number of things for dealers now to help them, not on the retail side, but on the wholesale as well. Let's say a customer brings a vehicle in for trade, and they're looking at that new hot model, and they have a vehicle they're looking to trade in. There's technology available now that allows you to actually take that vehicle, put it on a wholesale app, and put it out to other dealers that may be interested in it. And theoretically, you could have that vehicle sold and ready to go before you even taken it in on trade. So you get a fair market value for it. A good price. You can be transparent with the customer and say, hey, listen, I've got your vehicle sold. So that's great news. So we can give you a good price for it. And it really helps to build the value with the customers. But dealers are slow moving and hesitant to do that sometimes. Also, another thing when it comes to marketing for dealers is they have to look at their ROI. Obviously, all dealers are about ROI. So when it comes to the web, they look at things like what does it cost me for where's my marketing dollars going, and what are the results. So let's look at the VDP pages and how many views we get and how many people are engaged, when really they got to go back to basics. They got to pay in order to get the lead, obviously. So how much does the lead cost? What is the lead? What is the value of the lead? But ultimately, they want to know, what is the value of the sale? What does it cost me to sell the vehicle? And how do I measure that? If Jane comes to the website, fills out a form, is interested, goes into the CRM, is engaged, it costs us $50 for the lead, and ultimately it costs us $300 to sell the car, then that's a measurable result. And those tools are available for dealers now, and it's great to see.
How do dealers keep pace with an ever-changing market? By taking a close look at expenses and looking for ways to cut expenses out of your bottom line. While factories are taking more and more our ability to earn gross and compressing every dollar we can earn on car sales, we need to look at compressing our expenses. Can you renegotiate with your floor plan provider? Is your advertising spend out of whack? Are you holding on to that TV, radio, and print when we really know that all of our foot traffic these days is coming in from the digital landscape? Now is the time. We have the cushion of time to examine every dollar we're spending, and we need to take it out now, because it is a when, not an if, there will be another economic downturn. And the dealers that control their expenses will be the one that not only survive but thrive during a downturn.
If you remember the old adage that technology is greatly overrated in the short run, but very much underrated in the long run, I believe the new car business is in that long run phase. It's time to really make some strategic changes to how you do business. So first up, let's talk about the number, the single most important number to your operating report that's not to be found on your operating report. It's the salesperson churn or turnover in your dealership. If you're in, near, or around the NAD average of 60%, or God forbid 70%, but even if you're at 45 or 50%, those numbers are unsustainable. By the way, take your average repeat purchase loyalty and add your salesperson churn, that number will be very close to 100, 95 to 100, right? 40% repeat purchase loyalty, 60% churn, that's about it. 70, 30, etc. So what's the problem? Do you have bad people? No. You got people who are trying to make a living selling a very expensive and complex product that takes 3 to 4 hours to sell. A little longer, truth be told, including delivery, chasing stips, and whatever else you might have to do. So it's time to address that part of the process. And to do that, you got to start with lead generation. Dealers spend most of their money to drive leads to their websites, to their phones, and to the showroom in terms of traffic. Okay, but the challenge is consumers don't aspire to be leads. Neither do I, neither do you. That's why 60% or more in some cases of the lead forms that are sent to your dealership, where you respond just as everybody tells you to do, 5 times, frequency, perfect messaging, nobody ever responds to you. Why? Because they never wanted to be a lead. They ask a question. The first question you should ask of all the leads that come through the house is, how good are we at answering questions? If you consider an instant response that doesn't answer a question of value, that's the worst thing you could do. You're better off waiting 15 minutes and giving a great answer than just sending an email saying, hey, we're busy and we'll get back to you, right? Because that doesn't sound like the dealership I want to do business with. It's this crux issue of starting to transfer dollars from lead generation to marketing. And when I say marketing, to make it easier for people to buy cars from you. I'll give you a project to think about, because going forward, this will be more and more important. If you go to Amazon.com, their site's designed to do one thing. It's not designed to sell. It's designed to make it easy for the consumer to buy. It gives them everything they need on one page to make a confident purchase decision, click, and press buy, right? They got 30 million Amazon Prime members who spend $99 a year to make sure they don't have to fill out a lead form or be deluged with phone calls or emails, right? That's the consumer you're trying to sell cars to. If you doubt this, put it into your own perspective. Imagine you're sitting at your desk, maybe you're watching this at your desk, and you're about to book a flight to, 20 group meeting, a manufacturer meeting, NADA, whatever it might be. You go through the normal channels and you choose your favorite airline, you book the flight, and you hit the button to pay for it. But instead of the page with a confirmation number, what you get is a page that says, thanks, we're in the process of checking your flight. We'll get back to you soon. A representative will call you shortly. All right? Does that instill confidence in you? Is that what you wanted when you clicked? No. What you're going to do, probably close the website and go dark, go to Kayak, go somewhere else, find another place to buy your ticket because you don't have time to talk to anybody. That's why 60% of your leads never respond to you. So take a step back and ask yourself, plain and simple, how do we make it easier for people to buy cars from us? It's a big question, but it's one you really need to start thinking about.
The average spending on dealer incentives from the OEMs, it was $3,600 in February. That's up from just $3,000 in January. General Motors actually has the highest. They spend over $5,100 on incentives. and they have an average of 91-day inventory for the dealers. So this shows that the OEMs are really focusing on moving the metal, and they want to get their vehicles out on the road, obviously. So the focus now for the dealers has to be on the sales once the customers have hit the lot or the website or the dealership in some way, obviously. This helps the dealer obviously move the inventory, but also to offer customers additional services. We're talking about warranty, insurance, other ways to protect those investments for the dealers. The online process is allowing customers to do their homework, apply for financing, and ultimately set it up so that the customer can have done almost everything online until they actually come to take the vehicle for a spin and clarify and take mental ownership of the vehicle by taking it for a drive and falling in love with it, which is ultimately what the dealer wants. The sales equation is always based on people, so we need to remember that while we start the process online, we have to make sure it's easy and ensure that the customers are excited about the vehicles once they hit the lot and are there to purchase and finance and ultimately, get the extended warranty and the insurance on the vehicle as well.
To keep pace in ever-changing markets, dealers need to focus on the basic processes and people. Are your processes truly strict processes, or have they become guidelines in your dealership? And the one process that dealers truly need to focus on and own themselves is your customer experience process. Have you written it out and trained all of your employees to ensure that they have all bought into your vision? Because if you haven't, they're going to take their own latitude and interpret it their own way. So, and you cannot expect processes to implement themselves. You have to have fantastic people, both in sales and service, to make sure that every customer is being treated in a great manner. That is going to ensure loyalty to your dealership.